Hello, fourth graders. Today is week 2 of our yarn relief cursive name prints. So as of this point, everybody should have written their name in cursive. You're learning about this in your fourth grade classrooms. If you need a review or aren't sure of how to write your name or what letters, you have the reference out for you. Everyone should have written their name in cursive and created a border design on their paper. The second step of the process was to place the paper on top of our chipboard and to press very, very firmly, tracing over all of the letters to create an indentation or print on your chipboard. Most of you have completed this and today are at the stage of gluing your name. So I want to review some of the steps when it comes to gluing your name. Remember that the yarn color does not matter. It will be covered by the aluminum foil, so whatever yarn color is at your table will be fine. When it comes to gluing your name down, remember that when we take the glue, we are not holding the glue up in the air as we go. We are pressing, holding the glue onto the chipboard as if we are drawing with the glue. You simply trace over your name, the letters with the glue, and then as you go with your yarn, when you hit some curves, it can be a little tricky to get the yarn to stay, so you might want to work in slow sections. So I'm going to work with my L first. I'm going to take a piece of yarn about this length, cut it off, and then simply connect it to where I left off, working in a slow section. And I think what I'm going to do, rather than have this overlap, I think I'm actually going to cut where the curve of the L comes back down. And then I think I'm going to get a new piece of yarn to finish off the rest of the L and the Y. So again, I trace over with a thin layer of glue. I select the size of yarn that I think I will need. I may just want to go up there and stop at that point. Sometimes it can be tricky when you are placing the yarn to go up and then back down. So I think what I'm going to do, I think the yarn holds better, is I'm going to stop right there, cut it, and then I think I'm going to repeat that process, finishing off the rest of my letters of my name. Then you're going to go ahead and do that with your border design. Once you have completely glued down your entire name as well as your border design, you're going to come up to the front station and we will apply the foil over your work. So I have spray adhesive, which I will spray on your chipboard. The spray adhesive will help the aluminum to stick to the areas. So once I spray the adhesive, we will put the shiny side facing down. You'll place it directly over your artwork, and from the back on the chipboard, you will fold it over very carefully, folding it snug so you have a clean line over the chipboard. You're going to fold it from the back, and then flip your work back over to the front. And from the front, this is probably one of the most important steps, is you really need to work in sections, going around with a finger on each side, indenting, creating what's called the relief. Remember, when we talk about relief in art, we're talking about a raised portion and a portion that is standing out. The relief that is being raised is your name. So it will stick much better, it will show up better. I didn't put the spray adhesive, but all of these areas will be stuck down. After you have done that, you get to begin with the color pattern. So once you select your color pattern, the main thing you want to focus on is making sure, if you look at the examples, that the name and the areas that are done with yarn have not been colored. That's what allows the color to stand out. So all of the areas that are flat will receive the color, meaning the areas on the chipboard. All of the areas that are raised, meaning all of the cursive letters of your name, as well as the border design, will not be Sharpied. That's what allows what's called contrast in art. The contrast is the white or the silver staying silver, remaining silver, and the rest being colored. As you go, you're going to use Sharpies. I have broad tip Sharpies. I also have fine tip Sharpies. There will be Sharpies at each table. You can switch colors whatever you want. Think of a color pattern you may want to create as you go. Craftsmanship is really important when it comes to this. You definitely want to stick with level 3 craftsmanship, which means your Sharpie lines go in the same direction. I'm going to show you right here how you color around but not over the top of your letters, and that's how you create contrast for your yarn relief print. A goal by the end of class would be to have the foil printed on your chipboard, to have created all the indentation lines so your name relief is showing up, and to begin with the Sharpieing. We will continue the Sharpie color application next week in art, so I don't want you to rush at that process, but to be able to begin the process would be an ideal stopping point today.